Hello there, gang, and welcome to another Patreon exclusive Brucey bonus action figure review. And this is one that genuinely I could only really do on the Patreon because I wouldn't feel too comfortable about doing this on the regular channel just because you get a little risque and model behavior is very family friendly, or I like it to be. What am I talking about? Well, you know, because you clicked on the thumbnail. We're talking about the Kraken from the Drake group. This is something very special. Previously, I've done action figures that were gifts to the channel. This is no exception. From friend of the show, Kozen. Boom. This little lady here. What is so special about her? Easy for me to say. What is so special about her? Well, she ain't like your regular Marvel Legends, that's for sure. And it's not just the anime stylings and slightly more revealing costume. It's the fact that this character here is completely silicone. The body has no plastic or joints or anything like that. It is kind of like a Terminator. It's silicone skin over a metal endoskeleton. That makes it sound pretty badass, doesn't it? But does that work for an action figure? Does that actually give you what you want in an action figure? Because there are highs and lows with this. There are caveats to having a figure that is completely covered in silicone. A lot of people who collect Mezco have been finding that out recently with their Batman 89 releases, where it can possibly show weathering, age, crack, reduce the articulation. These are all considerations and something that I'm kind of putting to the test with this one here. So first of all, just with the initial impression, boom, like, this is awesome. I remember reporting on this character for Good News. I remember, when I saw this pop up on the interwebs, I was like, I gotta feature this because this just looks awesome and wicked and badass, and it is. I love, you guys know. If you're on the Patreon or the channel member section, it's because you must watch this pretty regularly. So I love my mixed media. I love it when there are different things that go into an action figure. So it's not just something that's just been pulled out of a plastic mold, but there's more going on, and there is so much going on with this. So much. So not only do you have the silicone on the outside, but then you've got this different type of material that her scuba leggings are made out of. Of course, you've got this actual jacket here, this soft goods material jacket, and the thing is, everything about it functions. It's got these little clasps and grips on here. They actually work. They interlock. That's bonkers. Just looking at it, the actual straps, they go into the buckles and around. You could tighten this. If you blew this up somehow into 1-to-1 scale, you could wear this as a jacket and it would have all the pockets and pouches and straps. They would all work and function. I mean, that's kind of crazy. That really, really is. And then when you go around, the different sort of detail on it, like the tank here is of course a solid plastic, so you get some solid plastic accessories, but also just the amount of detail on this tank. You've got the little diving regulator there that shows her oxygen levels, and the minute little intricacies on the gauge and the dial with the colors. It's just above and beyond. Then again, different materials. You've got this little cable here that goes from her diving tank into her respirator mask there. And actually, this is something you add separately. It comes with a long string of this, and you can snip it off, and then you just poke it into the holes. And sometimes this will come out of the respirator. That can be a little bit annoying, because it only sits in there by a millimeter. It'd be better if you could go a little bit deeper, so it doesn't pull out so easily. But I mean, hey, that's a small comment. One thing I will say about this figure, though, and this is the design in general, and it's just more of an aesthetic thing for me. I'm not a big fan of anime type characters and faces because I feel like it's a real disconnect from the body. The body looks almost spookily human, whereas the head then looks incredibly anime with the great big eyes and the cartoony hair, and it's one of these things is not like the other. So I feel it doesn't quite gel, which is why I like this figure having the respirator mask on there. And she does come with different faces that don't have the mask or the respirator, so you can just have a normal anime face on here. But me personally, I like to kind of hide and disguise the anime look by putting on the respirator and the goggles and whatnot. So she can pass for, well, anything like a Marvel Legend or a G.I. Joe type of character. Because she's totally like an underwater scuba spy. It's wicked. She's got the little Beretta here. I assume it's a Beretta. I just said Beretta to sound clever. It could not be. That's like the only other gun I know. There's a Beretta, Walter PPK, thanks James Bond, and the... oh gosh, what's the Robocop gun? Auto 9, that's the one. Those are the 3 guns that I know. And a Cobra assault cannon, state of the art. Bang bang. Which I know is not a real gun, it was based off a sniper rifle. But I'm getting off on a tangent. So yeah, speaking of getting off, no, that was a terrible connective tissue. But hey, we're on the Patreon, so I can live with it. The Wazogazongas, that is just the model behavior term for excessively large boobs. But hey, it's anime. It's action figures. It's escapism nonsense. It's what we all are here for. And if you're not here for it, then I hope we're giving you something else instead. Is it just company? How are you doing? You watching LA Law or anything else on the TV? How you doing? Have the grandkids called? All right, so yeah, she's got the silicone boobs, and these are separate to the bikini top as well. So I'm trying very hard actually to keep the bikini top keeping her modest. Because if it wasn't exactly where it should be, then you would see that she's anatomically correct. And actually, she's completely anatomically correct. And no, I ain't showing that, even on the Patreon. Because, well, I mean, actually, I'm not a prude or anything, but at the same time, it's like, come on. My mum watches these reviews. Although she's not on the Patreon. Hey, how come my mum's not on... well, she has supported me for like 40 years. Okay, she doesn't need to be on the Patreon as well. Nonetheless, though, I'm not showing you how anatomically correct this figure is, but yeah, very is the answer. Also, with the feet, this is another caveat for having a silicone body, is that you can't really have articulation in the ankles, because it wouldn't really work. It would mess up the silicone too much. It would probably be too thick. So instead, she has 2 different sets of feet. She has flat feet, so you can have her just standing up normally like she's on land, or you can have the angled down feet. And she does come with a lovely flight stand as well. So I'd much rather have her in the flight stand with the feet angled down so it looks like she's either swimming or, in my headcanon, because she's next to all these other characters, maybe she's like literally jumped, or no, she's jumping into the water while firing her gun. There you go. Because I mean, you couldn't fire the gun underwater. That doesn't work. Does it? I'm not a gun expert. You can't fire a gun underwater. That's why you have harpoons. Really, she should have a harpoon gun. Y'all missed out on that one, action figure designers. But yeah, all of these accessories together, they do look really great. With the little details on the legs as well. Really nice, just extra bits, basically. Like also the rings. The ring that goes around the top of the leggings here, that's a little separate metal or plastic piece. So many different elements that have gone into this, just to make it feel like a really high-end figure. Dang, yeah, the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, yes, this is actually terrific. Also, she comes with a couple of accessories as well. Besides the other faces, she's got this little underwater submersible scuba thingamajig. It sort of breaks apart and you can pull out the different bits. There we go. So it's a bit of a fiddly thing, and I'm basically very worried about breaking it because it feels so intricate that I don't want to play about with it too much because I'm so heavy-handed. And these are such little pieces that go into it. So you can see some pictures of how it looks when it's all extended. Here you go, I can get it here. So there we are, we're extending all these pieces out. This is the first time I've done this because I thought, you know what, Dave, just don't break it. Don't play with your action figures, Dave, you'll inevitably break them. So there you go. It's a cool little robotic crustacean looking kind of thing. And the little bits at the side come out as well, but there we go. I was trying to find where the hinge point was because that was what I was always afraid of breaking. But yeah, you can open up various little ports and pieces, and it's just an accessory to go, by the side of her. But it's a nice little touch, and great printing and paintwork on there. Again, just more stuff to love, essentially. And also, she's got this little squid-shaped backpack. So of course, like anything else on her, it's all functional. It all works. You've got the backpack straps, which you can alter the length and the size of. Plus, like the zip on here works as well. I opened it; it's just padding in there. But yeah, that's a great little accessory as well. So many extra stuff. Let's give her a grade. So, as a final grade for the Kraken girl, I'm going to give her a super solid 7.5 out of 10, which is a little bit lower than some might have expected, but I'm kind of like, the jury's out on the silicone. You know, it's a great novelty. It's super, super cool, but I don't know if it's going to withstand the test of time. She even comes with a little vial of powder that you can use to like dust on the silicone to like protect it, or I don't know, keep it sort of safe from harm. I don't know how to really look after silicone. I'm gonna have to watch some videos on that. So I'm sure if I Google video silicone enhanced female, like nothing unusual is going to pop up. So yeah, I'll take a look at that to see how to look after her. But you know, the jury is out as to how well it's going to age. But the look of the figure, the amount of details, they are really, really awesome. But yeah, I think silicone might be more of a novelty than a preferred action figure method. But still, as a standalone figure, she's kind of wicked. And before we finish, I'll show some pictures that friend of the show, Kozen, sent to me of his same one that he's done some head swaps on, so you can see that the first thing I thought when I saw this was, let's do a Black Widow. And he's done that. And the head doesn't fit perfectly on the actual ball socket itself, because the ball joint on this figure is very, very small, so the head just kind of balances. But nonetheless, you can see it's very effective. So you can play around with this if you want to. And hey, you know, super articulated Black Widow is one thing, but Black Widow with, you know, proper sort of squidgy silicone body, that's stepping things up a notch. But is it a notch that you want to go in? That doesn't really make sense, but you know what I mean. Regardless though, guys, that does it for my review of Kraken. If you are watching this, it means you're on the Patreon or a channel member. So that means that you're really helping out the channel. So thank you so much for that. I'm going to be back here with another Brucey bonus episode soon. But until then, keep displaying model behavior.
Have a cup of coffee.